Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Dazzled or Disappointed for you featuring the new Rose Gold eyeshadow palette, Remastered edition by Huda Beauty. I feel like before this thing even launched, there were like 1,000,001 comparison videos, and so for sake of this video, I'm going to give you a review of this palette. I will show you or give you a couple of little tidbits based on the old palette, but I'm not going to really do a full-on comparison just because that's been done 1,000,000 times over at this point. So really just want to give you my thoughts on this version, let you know what I think of it, if I think it is worth you picking up if you already have the first one. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into this because there are a lot of shades in this palette to go through. Okay guys, so the box is in theme with rose gold, and so that's really what it looks like. I think it looks really pretty, really luxurious, love it. The inside kind of matches the heftiness and the, as far as the theme cover with her on it, as the Desert Dusk palette. So this is what this looks like. It's stunning. It's beautiful. She's so pretty that I love that she puts herself on her products. I think that's really, really nice. There are some areas of the cover that are a little bit foiled, like her eyelids, her lips, some portions of the flowers, and I think that's really nice. It adds just a whole lot of detail, and like I said, it's a very thick, sturdy cardboard, and so it makes it feel really like high-end. Just so that you know, this is made in Italy. Her larger palettes tend to be made in Italy. Her Obsessions are usually made in China, which I think those are really great quality as well. So, but just so that you know, this is made in Italy, so that you have an idea of the volume of product. So you do get 18 shades in this palette. You get 10 at 1.1 grams or 0.039 ounces, and you get 8 at 0.7 grams or 0.025 ounces. Those are going to be your foiled shades that are the creamier, formula. So that being said, you open this bad boy up, and typically you get the little cheap plastic cover that you throw away. At least I do. I won't be throwing this away because she put like a really thick, good quality plastic in here with a matching version of the cover. I think that's a really nice touch. She did that with Desert Dusk as well, and I love it. I think that, you know, little details like that that make swallowing a price tag of $65 a little bit easier. This is $65. I know that seems very expensive to plunk down right off the bat for one palette. However, keep in mind you're getting 18 shades in here with different formulas to include those metallic foiled shades. You're getting quite a few mattes. So you really can do quite a bit with this palette, create a whole lot of looks. So yes, 65, but you're getting the 18 shades, and if you think about it, you'll pay like $50, $55, even $59 for like an Urban Decay palette that has maybe about 12 or 14 shades. So keep that in mind as well. You do get a mirror. So unlike the first one that came with the plastic cover and the cardboard, it's a thinner cardboard packaging, you do get the mirror in here, which I know a lot of people appreciate. And then here you get the 18 shades, which look really great. Now, if you remember that one of the complaints of the original was that the foiled shades, I mean, she even said in all her marketing, these are meant to be used with your finger, not a brush. I don't know if a lot of people didn't see that or just didn't care or whatever. I know a lot of people don't like to use their fingers, but people were complaining because you don't get a lot of pigment when you use a brush. You just don't. It's just the formula of the shadow, and typically with foiled / metallic shades, I tend to use my finger anyways, and so that was never an issue for me. I loved the payoff, and so in my opinion, she didn't need to remaster it because I loved this one as it was, but that's okay. In this palette, you get the foiled shades that don't look as chunky. They looked very chunky, almost like packed glitter in that first one, although the finish was like it's like a creamy type consistency, even though it did look chunky. So you don't get that here. These look very smooth, very just buttery. So that being said, I won't take up any more time rambling on about that. Let's move into swatches because there are 18 to go through for this bad boy. The first four we have are Dubai, Fling, Trust Fund, and Rose Gold. And keep in mind, I do one swipe swatches on my hand for pigmentation purposes. Of the four, Rose Gold is the one that is not as creamy as the rest. I mean, it's a little bit drier, a little bit more crumbly, and I think you can see that in the swatch. It's a little bit more apparent. But the rest are very, very pigmented. I hardly dug my finger into the pan of product, and again, one swipe swatch with that. I'll be right back with the next set of four. The next four we have are Pink Diamond, 24K, Risque, and Dollface. Dollface in the previous palette was called Flamingo and was a little bit of a lighter pink. I am wearing Pink Diamond and 24K on my lids today, and Pink Diamond is new to this palette. I will also say that it is probably the most pigmented foil out of all of them in this palette. It just, with hardly touching the pan, you get so much product and it goes on with so much ease. So that's what those look like. Now, I'm just going to point out that these two mattes, yes, they do look patchy. I feel like even in the last edition, they were very, kind of the same in that they were very dry, very stiff, chalky even, and I don't feel that much of a difference on, like, for example, Risque right here. I did find Dollface to be a little bit softer and smoother. Risque was just kind of dry, same kind of consistency as the last one. But even though it looks patchy, I always say you can't judge an eyeshadow based on how it swatches. You have to really play around with it on your eyelid, use a brush, use your finger, this and that, so that you really can see how it performs. So more to come on that, but I wanted to point that out because there will be others that will look like that as well. The next four we have are Demure, hashtag Blessed, Moondust, and Bubbly. Bubbly is also new to this eyeshadow palette, as I believe is Demure. Again, without going too much into side-by-side comparisons, there was one in this one called Shy that was a little bit more of a kind of rosy mauve-y tone than Demure, I think. Demure's a little bit more of a kind of flesh tone color, but those likely were swaps, so just know that that was also a change. And that's what those look like. Again, Bubbly being new to this palette as well. And I believe Moondust is one that can be used as kind of like a highlighter on the face as well. It's not one of the foiled shades. It's more of a satin type of shade. And so, but I do believe Moondust was in the last one. And it was. Looks a little bit more powdery in the old, a little bit more rich and creamy in this one. All right, we're down to the last row. I'm going to point out to you that the last row is exactly the same as the old version. The colors or the shades and the names are the same. Here is Black Truffle, Suede, Cocoa, and Man-Eater. I have heard that a claim for the Black Truffle shade is that you can use it wet or dry, and I assume that's also so that you can kind of use it as an eyeliner. I will also say that it's a lot softer than I had anticipated it to be, because usually black shades are very dry, very dusty, and this one is not so much as I thought it was going to be, so that is also good. I tend to not use black eyeshadows as liners. I like just using regular black eyeliner. But see how patchy that one is? That one is Man-Eater. Does come across very, very patchy, as those other ones did as well. The other mattes look good. They're opaque, quite a bit of pigmentation. And that's what those look like right there. Be right back with the last set of four. So it's actually two that are left, not four, and they are Henna and Sandalwood, both mattes, and that's what those look like right there. So that being said, let me clean off my fingers before I get this all over everything, and I'll zoom you in so that you can see what I am wearing on my lids today. So just to kind of start going or giving you the rundown, on my brow bone I am wearing Moondust. Then in my crease, I went in with Demure, which is that kind of fleshy tone shade, and then I deepened it up with Risque, which is this kind of pinkier shade right here. Then I had already told you the two foiled shades I used on my lid were Pink Diamond, and I used that on the inner and outer portion of the lid, and I used 24K right in the middle. On the lower lash line, I used Dubai, and I used it with a brush. So Let me zoom you in real quick, and that way you can see what I am referring to. So again, Moon Dust on the brow bone, Demure as the crease color. I deepened that up with Risque. Lower lash line is Dubai, which is the dark brown foiled shade, and then Pink Diamond on the outer and inner, and 24K in the middle. And so the lid I did use with my finger. Lower lash line I used with a brush, and that's what that looks like right there. No falsies today because I'm going to the pool after this. So that's why my eyes look a little naked today. So that being said, let's kind of go into thoughts for this palette and whether this is worth it for you. So honestly, a couple of things. One is I found the foils in this palette, they perform so beautifully. They just are so rich, so pigmented. A little bit goes a long way, and I actually do find them easier to use than these. Now, I don't find that I get an extremely different result. I do feel like these are a little bit more sparkly. So these have like micro shimmer in them. I don't remember if these did or not. Yeah, they do. So that's probably no big difference there, but these do pop when it comes to shimmery foiled metallic. And they are, what I did used to find with this is that because these were a little bit chunkier, that they would tend to look kind of sometimes piecey on my eye. You know that look when you get a little too much, like it clumps on like a portion of your lid and makes your lid look wrinkly? I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but sometimes from time to time I do, and from time to time it would be with these foiled shades. These are so easy to work with. I will also tell you that these foiled shades, with the exception of Moon Dust, which is like more of a satin like I told you, all of the foiled shades have a very like Play-Doh type texture. I know that sounds really strange, but I don't think they're a strictly powder formula. They've got some cream in them, and so I did, when this first came in, each of the foiled shades had a little bit of a dip in the middle, and I was like, that looks like it's kind of like a creamier, it looks like it's a creamy consistency. Sure enough, as I started playing with it, swatching it, it's like Play-Doh. So it's one of those things where kind of like ColourPop, I guess, where if you push your finger down, it's going to leave the imprint and it's going to kind of leave it a little bit sunken. That's what these are like. So that being said, also, I have used these shades both ways because I've obviously had to try it. I mean, regardless of whether it works with a brush or not, I will always use my fingers. But for purposes of reviewing this, I had to try it, obviously, with both options. And so I will tell you that I don't think it works as well with a brush as either they anticipated it to, or maybe I'm just using it the wrong way. But honestly, with a brush, so I used Dubai on the lower lash line, I had to go in 2 or 3 times to build it up. When I go in with my finger, it's one and done because the pigmentation is so rich and so incredible that I still think you want to use your fingers with this, just as you pretty much had to with this. And so, I mean, to me, that's not much of a difference. And so I think you do, if you want the highest color intensity, payoff, whatever, richness, metallic goodness, you pretty much need to use your fingers. So either that or you're going to have to keep on digging and you'll waste a lot of product. And at that price, you really don't want to be wasting product. As far as the mattes, kind of what I told you earlier, they swatch very patchy, they perform so beautifully. I don't have any issues whatsoever putting the matte in my crease, on my outer. Today, the times I've used it the past few days, honestly, I don't have any issues. It doesn't go on patchy, it doesn't rub off when I try to build it up, it doesn't look gross. It looks really, really nice, and I am very happy with the way they perform. It's like I don't have to work extra, and that's the last thing you want to have to do, especially when you pay this much money for a palette, is having to work extra to make it look good and to make it easier just to build, and you're not looking to go complicated with your eye look. So that being said, the only thing I have not done is use the black shade Wet to line my eyes, and again, that's because I really don't ever line my eyes with eyeshadow. I always have to use gel liner. It's just what works easiest for me, and like I said, I'm looking to eliminate all complication from my routine, and that for me is complication. So I have not done that. However, this black is softer than I anticipated it to be. It's just, I think it would probably work very well. Again, I think I had mentioned it earlier, there's a handful of changes that you'll see from this one to the old one. Bubbly is new. Pink Diamond is new. And out of all of the foils, Rose Gold is the one that's a little bit chunkier and drier. Not chunky, but drier, so it kind of flakes a little bit more, like when you rub your finger in the pan. I have not found that to be the case with any of the others, so just keep that in mind. Moon Dust you can use like as a highlight on your cheekbones, and it looks really, really pretty. So that being said, wait, a couple other things. Again, Demure, that was kind of a switcheroo, a little bit of a fleshier tone with a different name. Dollface, again, is a little bit of a richer pink with a different name. And then, let's see, so Bubbly, Pink Diamond are new, and then, again, Risque. So I'm trying to think which Risque was in here. So Risque is a little bit rosier. And let me show that to you. So Risque is a little bit rosier, and then there is one in the second row of this called Bossy, and it's a little bit deeper. And I would bet that that was the change they made to that one. That was the switcheroo there. So that being said, I do think this is worth the splurge if you're willing to fork out the money for it. I really do like this a lot more than the original. I feel like it's a little bit easier to use for the foils. It's a little bit more one and done. I don't have to work with it as much so for it not to look kind of chunky, even though, like I said, most of the tones as far as the foils are the same. I feel like the others also perform beautifully. I just think this makes it a little bit easier. Again, keep in mind about the brush versus finger. I don't think you'll get as much success using a brush as you think you will, but all in all, the packaging is spectacular. I do like the changes that she made to the actual product, and I'm very, very happy with it. I'm glad I picked it up, and so if you're a collector, you will definitely want to pick it up. If you're looking for an improvement over the other one, you'll want to pick it up. But I wouldn't say the changes are like night and day to where, you know what, if you can make do with the other one, I think that's totally fine too. So I hope this helps you. So this, all in all, is a Dazzled for me. I kind of expected it to be. It's been very rare that I've been disappointed with one of Huda's products, and this is no exception. I really loved it. I have been playing with it and loving every moment of putting this to use. This is really a great palette. Alright guys, before I let you go, you know I have to give you the verse of the day, and I'm excited to bring you today's verse just because when I started my channel, from time to time, and when I first started, I would tell y'all, real beauty comes from within. Like the makeup, maybe it can make you look prettier, maybe you can look super glam, but the thing about it is, you have to be pretty on the inside too. How you treat people, you know, it's just kindness is key. And the thing about it is, the outward appearance doesn't matter. What really matters is the heart, because God looks at the heart, God sees the heart, and He knows where your heart is at. So just keep that in mind. My verse kind of ties into that. It's from Proverbs 31:30, and it says, "Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." Alright guys, I hope this encourages you. I hope it encourages you to show a little bit of extra kindness, to just have a beautiful heart. The makeup, I mean, the beauty's going to fade away. One day we won't be wearing makeup anymore, you know, when we're older and just not wanting to do as much to our... It's fun now, but you know what? All that will go away. What really stays true and beautiful is your heart. So keep your heart beautiful. And I hope that encourages you. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I love each and every one of you, and we'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye, guys.